Okay, hello and welcome back. It's Friday, which means I normally give you 5 recommendations for some kind of YouTube channels or videos that I've been watching this week. But this week I'm not going to give you 5 recommendations. I'm going to give you 1 recommendation, and that recommendation is to learn some first aid. I've been on a first aid course. I had to do this as part of my British Cycling Leadership Assessment, and it's a very eye-opening process, and it's worthwhile learning a few basic bits and pieces. Now, I don't believe in a jinx or speak too soon or giving something a bit of a curse, but thankfully, touch wood, I haven't had a major accident on the bike. I did break a collarbone quite a few years ago, but other than that, for me, it's basically been the odd sort of like scrape of the knee and the elbow, that kind of thing. Probably why I'm such an average rider, because I don't push myself too hard. But yeah, I've been quite lucky. Some people haven't been, and it's definitely worth learning a bit of first aid. I dug out a load of first aid things from various bags and nooks and crannies, my car and whatnot, just to show you that I carry first aid everywhere. Thankfully, I haven't had to use a great deal of it, but it's all there. And these things are like a tenner, so it's definitely worthwhile doing. In my 2 bike bags here, I've got one sits in the bottom, already prepared just in case I take this out. There's always something in there. And in the one that I've been using recently, I've got a sort of a repackaged set of stuff that I use for that I keep for emergencies. There's not an extensive set of things in there, but here's what is in there. You can see there's a finger dressing, there's some burn gel. It's just quite helpful for soothing any sort of cuts, really, but that's quite good obviously for burns. There's some plaster, bit of gaffer tape, medical tape and safety pins, bandage 4.5 meters by 5, some gloves obviously in case you need to sort of do something on somebody else's damaged body, and some alcohol wipes. So yeah, it's and aspirin. If you go on a first aid course, they will tell you aspirins are great for first. Aspirins are good for potentially sort of staving off a heart attack. They stop your blood from clotting. So yeah, I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but aspirins rather than paracetamols. I fished out loads from all over the place. This one here I got out of my work backpack. So I've got plasters, I've got alcohol wipes. Again, I've got paracetamol, ibuprofen, I've got some allergy tablets as well, sort of, you know, hay fever, that kind of stuff. And also, just in case I need to fix a button on a shirt, or need to go full on Rambo with a bit of an injury, who knows? Sewing kit. The whole point of this is just to say that, you know, you can set up a little kit like this with a load of emergency essentials in, and just look how small it is. I mean, this isn't a great deal bigger than a pack of cards, really. So as I said, I'm not going to give you 5 recommendations today. I'm going to give you 5 inspirations today. So the first one, the reason that I decided to do this video this week was because a friend of mine I noticed had an accident this week, and she's broken some part of her spine that I wasn't aware of. Looks painful nonetheless, but not quite as serious as some sort of spinal injuries that you can have. So yeah, get well soon, Joe. But also I wanted to give a shout out to Jennifer Purcell, Pink MTBR, Amanda Townfield. These girls have had spinal injuries because they pushed themselves. A friend of mine, Tom Hutton, who does guiding, had potentially life-changing injuries. I think he still has a bit of a neck twinge right now, but you know, you guys are massive inspirations, because I just couldn't, I'm not sure how I would feel if something like that happened to me. So I get a paper cut and that's the end of the day, do you know what I mean? But anyway, so number 1 is just those average, normal, everyday people that I know that have had terrible accidents and that have got through it and have got back on the bike and gone out and done it again, which just blows my mind, because it would just scare the living hell out of me. So number 2, Martyn Ashton. I mean, look where he is today. Okay, he can't walk, but he's still riding these recumbent bikes. He's on that mad tandem with Blake and that lot. Massive inspiration. Has not let his accident stop him from cycling. He's been a whistler, for God's sake. Number 2, Brook Macdonald, the bulldog. Brook has charted his entire sort of recovery process on Instagram, and that's an amazing story. And I just I think the guy's an absolute legend. I think to get back up from that and to fight and to be riding the way he is, I think it's absolutely amazing. That was number 3, wasn't it? Yeah, number 3. Number 4, not a mountain biker, but a motocross rider, Aaron Baker. Now, if you haven't heard of Aaron Baker, again, there will be links below. This guy had a motocross accident, and I'll find some links to show you. You can explain the accident. But he was told he was not going to have any use of his arms and legs. Well, today, the guy, he's walked across Death Valley. He's cycled across America. It's a phenomenal story. I will pile the links below. There's a Netflix film or a Amazon Prime film that you should go watch. The guy's absolute trooper, and he's fought every prognosis that the doctors gave, and he is now, he's walking, cycling. He's massive inspiration. It's unbelievable. And number 5 is Can't Quit Cartel. Steve's a mountain biker. Had an accident a number of years ago, and unfortunately Steve's in a wheelchair. But Steve and Ruth, his partner, are absolutely, for me, constantly the biggest inspiration, because they certainly haven't let that injury stop them. They've set up Can't Quit Cartel, who are now inspiring people all over the world. They sell some really cool gear, and I think it's just coming up to the anniversary of the accident where Steve and Can't Quit put together some charity stuff for the Wings of Life charity, Wings for Life, which is a charity for spinal cord research. So if you get the chance, again, I'll put some links. Go and buy something when that charity launch comes out, and follow the links below. Go and follow them on Instagram, all that kind of stuff, and yeah, then give those guys some support and love whenever you get the chance. But yeah, I'm not sure how well I would bounce back from stuff like that. So yeah. Anyway, just need to say, go and buy something from Can't Quit Cartel. Nothing to do with me. Just go and buy something, especially when the charity stuff comes out. And I'll put a link to the donation page for Wings for Life as well. I think it's a really good cause. And go and buy a first aid kit if you haven't got one, and maybe even go on a course.